Morning. Today we will present our analysis of PTKU, and my name is Jing Ming, and my groupmate is Tan Li Hao, Tae Ping, Lok Yi He, and Angel. So, based on our survey, we develop a consumer persona and conduct a digital readiness assessment followed by recommendation to improve the business. So now I will present the justification of PTKU consumer persona. PTKU main target customer are primary and secondary school students aged 7 to 17, especially those who are preparing for major public examination, such as the UEC and SPM. Besides students, parents or guardians are also an important part of the consumer persona because they are usually the one who decide which tuition centers to choose. In terms of scorecography profile, this customer value academic improvement, structured learning, and reliable education. Support parents especially prefer qualified tutor and the tuition service that can produce good learning outcome. At the same time, they also expect tuition service to be affordable, supportive, and trustworthy. For behavior insight, students and parents usually seek tuition to improve grade, strengthen subject understanding, and prepare more effectively for exam. They also tend to compare tuition centers based on teaching quality, reputation, and learning outcome. In addition, flexible learning options such as physical and online class are attractive because they provide more convenience and accessibility. Therefore, this consumer persona is suitable for PTKU because it reflects the real need and expectation of the tuition center target audience. And next, we can see how this persona match PTKU service and create a strategy value for the business. Then this consumer persona also align well with the PTKU business model and service offering. First, from the customer perspective, students need clear explanation for difficult subject and a stronger academic support, while parents want better exam preparation, convenience, and trustworthy communication from the tuition center. To respond to this need, PTKU provides small group lesson and the continual assessment to support student academic progress. PTKU also offers hybrid learning through both physical and the online class, which gives students more flexibility in how they learn. In addition, recorded lesson and digital tools further support revision, accessibility, and communication. As a result, this creates several strategy outcomes for PTKU. It can increase student and parent satisfaction, improve the match between the PTKU service and the customer need, and strengthen PTKU position as a student central and parent conscious tuition center. Overall, the consumer persona is justified because it helps PTKU better understand its customer and align its service with what student and parent truly value. That's all for me. Now I'll pass to the next presenter.
Thank you, Jimmy. My name is Lok here, and now I'll talk about the 3.2.1, which is the assessment of PTKU's organizational structure. First, PTKU operates with a lean organizational structure. This means the organization is relatively simple and focused mainly on its core function, which is educational services. The key areas include academic delivery, student recruitment, administration support, and also learning content development. So basically, all their activities are centered around supporting students and improving the learning outcomes. In addition, PTK is planning to hire employees with both technical skills and educational knowledge. This shows that the organization is looking to strengthen its internal capability, especially in the areas like digital tools and content development. Secondly, PTK also adopt a top-down approach in management. This means that most of the decisions are made by the management, and employees are expected to follow the direction given. One advantage of this approach is that it provides clear direction and ensure consistency in decision making. However, it may also limit the staff input as employees have fewer opportunities to share ideas or participation in the decision. Lastly, PTQ has the opportunity to improve their decision-making process by producing digital tools. For example, using digital system can help improve the communication, increase efficiency, and allow a better data-driven decisions in the future. Overall, while PTKU has a clear and focused structure, there is still room for improvement, especially in encouraging more employee involvement and enhancing digital capability. Now I'll pass to Yan Ping to continue the presentation.
Now I'll talk about organizational culture. PTKU has a strong organization culture that emphasizes collaboration, student support, and continuous improvement. And this creates a supportive learning environment for both educators and students. However, the key issue is that while the culture is so strong, it is not yet fully supported by digital capabilities. Digital tools could enhance communication with students and parents, as well as enable more flexible learning, such as online or hybrid classes. And this creates a limitation because without sufficient digital readiness, the organization may struggle to fully leverage this opportunity. And the next is management and digital readiness. In terms of management, PTQ is generally open and receptive towards digital transformation. And this is a positive factor as it supports future change initiative. However, there are two main concerns. First is the financial cost of adopting new technologies. And second is the ability of educators to adapt to digital tools. As a result, PTKU adopts a gradual implementation approach through small-scale initiatives for this reduced risk, and it also slows down the pace of digital transformation. And it means that although the intention is there, execution may not be fast enough to keep up with digital trend. And the last is the key challenges. The most critical issue identified is the lack of internal digital skill set within the organization. PTKU currently lack expertise in areas such as educational technology, data analytics, digital marketing, and content creation. And these capabilities are essential in a modern education environment. At present, PTKU relies on outsourcing and part-time support to fill this gap. And this creates a major limitation because outsourcing does not build long-term internal capability, and it is not sustainable for future growth. So in summary, we can say that PTKU is operationally stable with a clear structure and supportive culture. However, the organization is still digitally underdeveloped. The main issue lies in the lack of internal digital capability, which limit its ability to fully adopt and benefit from digital transformation. And this directly leads to the recommendation in the next session. And that's all for me.
Now we'll talk about recommendation. First recommendation is focus on developing internal digital expertise instead of relying heavily on outsourcing. Firstly, PTKU can collaborate with local university to create internship program. This allows students from IT and digital media background to support digital initiatives while also building a future talent pipeline. Secondly, PTKU should invest in training its educators by equipping teachers with digital teaching skills that can use tools more effectively in the classroom. Over time, this approach helps PTKU build a sustainable internal digital ecosystem that aligns with its educational goals. The second recommendation is to adopt a more data-driven approach in decision-making. Currently, decisions are mainly based on managerial experience, which may not fully reflect student needs. By using digital analytics tools and simple dashboards, PTKU can track key indicators such as attendance, academic performance, and retention rate. This allows management and educators to identify trends, adjust teaching strategy, and provide early support to students when needed. As a result, this will improve both academic outcome and operational efficiency. Now I will pass to Li Hao.
So I will continue with the recommendation. For the third recommendation, PTKU should focus on improving collaboration and teaching effectiveness by using digital tools. Cloud-based platforms can be introduced to help staff communicate and coordinate more efficiently. At the same time, digital learning tools such as interactive materials can make lessons more engaging and easier for students to understand. To ensure successful implementation, PTKU should also conduct training and workshops so that teachers are comfortable using these tools. In addition, encouraging knowledge sharing among staff can further strengthen their digital teaching skills. Next, PTKU should adopt a gradual approach when implementing digital transformation. Instead of making big changes at once, the center can start with small-scale pilot projects, such as offering online classes or recorded lessons. This allows PTKU to test the effectiveness of these tools while minimizing financial and operational risks. By collecting student feedback and monitoring their performance, the center can evaluate whether the changes are successful or not. Once proven effective, this initiative can then be expanded step by step. Lastly, PTKU should strengthen its internal capabilities to support long-term growth. This can be done by hiring staff who have both academic knowledge and digital skills. At the same time, existing employees should be provided with continuous training to help them adapt to new technologies. By reducing reliance on external support and building internal expertise, PTKU can become more sustainable and competitive. Overall, this will help create a strong and future-ready team. So that's all for our presentation. Thank you.